Welcome everyone, this is your own channel Learner Saga. In this video we will start from the speech of Gerard, from the story, from the drama If I Were You. In our previous video we have not started the speech of any of the characters. We have just gone through the introductory portion, the matching, and we have just read the setting of the drama, that is the scene. And in this video we will start afresh. We will start from the Gerard speech. But before we start, I like to request you to press the like button, subscribe the channel if you are new, and also to share and comment on the video. So without wasting any time, let's begin. Gerard. So in our previous video we have just noticed that Gerard is making a phone call. He is a medium height person and his voice is very sophisticated. Okay. Gerard. Well, tell him to phone up directly. Gerard is speaking in a phone, speaking over phone, and he's telling that tell him to phone up directly. I must know. That means he is speaking to the person who is on the other side of the phone. Yes, I expect I will still be here, but you must not count on that. Count on, we have found this word count on here. In our previous video we have discussed this. Count on means depend on or rely on. However, so he is having a chat. He is telling, well, tell him to phone up directly. Directly means immediately. Tell him to call me immediately. I must know. Yes, I expect I will still be here, but you must not count on that. You must not rely on that I am here. In about 10 minutes time. Righto, goodbye. That means the person Gerard is speaking to a person in a telephonic conversation. Oh, and he is asking someone to do something. He is stating or ordering that in about 10 minutes to do, and he should not rely on that he is living here, all these things. So actually Gerard is making a telephonic conversation. When the curtain opens, the spectators see that Gerard is making a conversation in a telephone. He puts down the phone and speaks. He puts down the phone and goes to the divan on the left, where there is a traveling bag, and starts packing. So he is in a hurry. He is about to leave and he starts packing. Whilst he is thus engaged, another man, similar in build to Gerard, enters from the right silently. Whilst it means while. Actually it is in archaic English. Whilst st, this kind of usage was in archaic English, in old English. It was common in practice to use this type of English, particularly to denote singular person. So while Gerard is thus engaged or busy, we have already found this word in this matching. Okay, so another man, similar in build means similar in structure, bodily manner, enters from the right silently. He enters from the right door and he was very silent. A revolver in hand. The person had a revolver, a gun in his hand. He is flashily dressed in an overcoat and a soft hat. So this was the apparel. Flashily means gaudily, you may say, or he was wearing a very bright colorful dress in an overcoat and a soft hat. You can see here this person, a revolver in hand. He bumps accidentally against the table. The person who enters stealthily, he bumps, he gets knocked, or he collides accidentally against the table. There was a table. We have seen in the description when in our first video we were discussing the scene. So there was a table and he accidentally gets knocked with that table. and at the sound Gerard turns quickly. So Gerard turns on listening to the sound made by the person wearing a soft hat and a bright colored dress, a revolver in hand. So this is Gerard's speech. First time Gerard's speech is there because in this speech also he was in a telephonic conversation. So here he is speaking to the intruder. His voice is very pleasant, you can see here, pleasantly. Why? This is a surprise, Mr. We have already come across, we have already understood that he is a very soft spoken, or we can say that he is a very humble person. Here we can see here his voice is cultured. His voice is very sophisticated or well mannered. That's why he is speaking pleasantly, asking him, "This is a surprise, mister." The intruder said, "I am glad you are pleased to see me. I don't think you will be pleased for long. Put those paws up." So the intruder is here and he said that I am very much happy that you are very happy to see me. And he also told him to put those paws up. That means here paws means hands. Raise your hands. Hands up, as we say. Gerard, this is all very melodramatic. Not very original, perhaps. But, so Gerard says, you are acting very melodramatically. Melodramatic means in an exaggerated manner. We have already come across this word, melodramatic, here, exaggerated. So you are acting very melodramatically that means you are overacting. Intruder, trying to be calm and okay. Intruder says, okay, you are trying to be calm. You are worried. Seeing my revolver, you are very much worried, but you are trying to pretend that you are a very calm person. And Gerard said, nonchalant is your word, I think. So Gerard is a very quick, sharp person. He said, you want to say nonchalant. Here, trying to be calm, and so Gerard stopping him, intervening him, he said, nonchalant probably is your word, I think. Nonchalant means, you can see here, careless. Probably you are trying to address me as a calm and careless person. Intruder, thanks a lot. You will soon stop being smart. I will make you crawl. I want to know a few things, see. The intruder said, don't try to become very smart, because in a few minutes I will torture you so that you will start crawling. I want to know a few things, okay? This is the demand of the intruder. You can see here. Okay. Now Gerard's speech. Anything you like. That means anything you may ask me. I know all the answers. As if I am an encyclopedia. But before we begin, I should like to change my position. You may be comfortable, but I am not. So let's start our conversation. Gerard says he is a very humorous person, you can see. And he said that, okay, you may start the conversation, you may ask anything. But before we start, please change the position. Because you are in a comfortable position maybe, but I am not. The intruder said, sit down there. And no funny business. That means, yes, you can sit down, motions to a chair, and sits himself on the divan by the bag. So the intruder sits on the divan by the bag that the person Gerard was packing initially, and said him that you may sit down there, but make sure you don't make any funny thing. Any funny business means any funny things. Now then, we will have a nice little talk about yourself. Nice little talk means a very short chat about yourself. Gerard, at last a sympathetic audience. I will tell you the story of my life. How as a child I was stolen by the gypsies, and why at the age of 32 I find myself in my lonely Essex cottage. How? So when the narrator, when Gerard was continuing like this, the intruder stopped him. You can see here the three dots after how. So he was intervened. Okay, so what is the meaning? Meaning is, Gerard said, at last a sympathetic audience. That means after a long time, at last he has found a very sympathetic audience who is willing to hear about him. So he is very humorous, students. You can see here. I will tell you the story of my life. How as a child I was stolen by the gypsies. That means he is trying to make fun of the intruder. He said that how he was stolen by the gypsies. Gypsies means, you may write, nomads. Nomads means the who are pugnacious in nature, who does not have a fixed residence. So he was stolen by the gypsies, he told, and why at the age of 32 I find myself in my lonely Essex cottage. Why at the age of 32 he is here in his lonely cottage. It is in Essex. Intruder said, keep it to yourself and just answer my question. You live here alone? Well, do you? So the intruder is not at all happy with his account, the story he is narrating. He said, just shut your mouth and answer what I ask you. Just tell me, do you live here alone? Gerard said, I'm sorry. I thought you were telling me, not asking me. A question of inflection. Your voice is unfamiliar. So again, here the narrator's humor is very much on the high, you may say. Gerard said, I'm sorry. I thought you were telling me, not asking me. Initially, I thought that you were telling me something, not asking. Now you are changing your tone. Inflection means the change of voice, the change of language. A question of inflection. You can see here, change of language or change of voice. Your voice is unfamiliar. Unfamiliar means initially your voice was very familiar because you were speaking to me in a very humble manner. Now your voice is not familiar to me. You are asking me, you are demanding me. So it's a kind of inflection. Okay, students, in this video we will end here, and in our next video we will start from the intruder speech. Okay, so before we leave, I request you again to share and comment on the video and subscribe the channel if you are new. So hoping to meet you in our next video. Till then, goodbye.